Hello and good morning to everybody. This is Bobby Richardson. I will be your guide for today. So today we're going to be doing some channeling. Hey Dawn, Nick, Yannicka in the chat bar. Good to see you. What a beautiful day it is today. We look like we've got a little bit of a storm outside coming over, but it's all blue sky on the other side. So it's like literally split out there at the moment. And interesting that I even said that. Literally split out there at the moment. I mean, we could be talking about humanity's consciousness right now, couldn't we? Yes, because there are those that just what would you call it? Stubbornly holding on to what they feel is the only way to create a reality. Just they're looking outside themselves and working really hard and making sure that all their ducks are in a row in an outside way, and then they'll find that it's just going to keep on crumbling. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next wave is going to wake up and what's going to actually happen, especially now because I have this really big pull or this feeling that the ones that are seemingly in charge at the moment are really finding their footing slippery, like they are like starting to move and then show their true colors and slip, and feeling that real, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to stand on the edge of this crevices anymore. I'm going to have to jump in. And then when that happens, they will have to, just like we all did, do the massive shadow work that they're going to have to do to face the fact that they have tried to control too much outside of them and never looked within themselves. Any case, this title is all about the chosen one's turn. And they brought that up because there was this massive pool of energy where it has literally flipped from those that understand their footing, that they can actually leap off a cliff at any given time because they know how to save themselves from the inside out. And they're calling them the chosen ones because the first wave that happens will be those that came here specifically to awaken other people. So they've already gone through a massive amount of shadow work. They've felt like their whole world is turned upside down. They feel like everything is going, what the heck is going on here? I don't even know if I can trust my future anymore. It's been pulling them into the moment so that we're more into the moment. And that's precisely where they need to be. So we can't be relying on what's going to happen in the future. We can only rely on our self support of who we are, and knowing that, you know what, I don't know if anything's going to work out, but I do know that I will be safe because I'm just coming from my heart and I love who I am and I can support that. And that is enough for me to step into some unknown quantity and take leaps of faith. They're literally showing me now, when I went through all this sort of stuff years and years ago, because they took me through this whole they took me through an awakening before I come to Australia, to get me to come to Australia from New Zealand. And when all of that happened and me following Spirit's guidance, I did the most craziest things where the outside reality, my mum was going, what are you doing? Like, I literally had to leave my daughter in New Zealand because she had a court order against her from, flying out by her dad and stuff like that. So I just took this whimsical faith and trusted a dream that I had, that I saw her at high school, and that she was going to be living with me. And sure enough, when I got to the place that I ended up with my girl's dad and my husband of my girl's dad at the time, we're now exed as well, I actually walked down the street and saw the actual school that my daughter was going to go to. And I'm just like, yes, that's it. And then it would have been, the first year was the toughest. Literally had dreams of part of my arm being ripped out. Like, I literally felt like I had part of myself been torn off me. But she had time with her dad, which was beautiful as well. And I ended up having already prepaid every single holiday for her to come and stay with me. By the end of that year, because I moved in April, by the end of December, she said, I want to live with you. And she ended up going to that high school. So just these crazy ass leaps of faith. And this is where the so-called chosen ones are feeling that they're like on this prefaces of this leap of faith into maybe starting this brand new business that everyone's going, why are you leaving that good paying job, or leaving a seemingly really good relationship, which you know is not going to evolve your soul any further. You've got to the end of it and you need to move on to something else that's going to actually evolve your soul, because that next step that we're taking is taking us into being the guides for others. So that's why they're saying the chosen one's turn. So much information is coming through, and I thought I was just going to be reading off the because like I just keep getting all this information. So I'm going to read a couple of bits anyway that they have gifted me throughout the week about this. So they said there's a switch within the chosen ones when they stop the struggle, as they now know of their own self-worth. And that's a hard one for the chosen ones, because we are very humble in our way of presenting ourselves. We don't see ourselves as any better than anyone else, because we see ourselves and everyone as source energy. We feel that, we know that. And so we know everyone is equal when it comes to that. So to be able to stand up and say, okay, I'm now going to be guiding you, or the so-called leader of that next phase, is kind of daunting. And it's also the fact that when we came in, we really fell hard from where we were. So we become extremely victimized, and lots of tears and lots of all of that happening, feeling very sad about ourselves. And now all of a sudden, when, one of our parents or our peers or whatever, if they said to you, you are useless, or you are crazy, or you are stupid, then we really took that on board. Like we really, really took that to heart. And now to go shed all of that illusion, knowing that those people are coming from their own lack, and they just felt this presence within you, and they tried to put you down because they didn't want to see it within themselves, because they weren't ready at that stage. Then it ends up that we have to do this real deep shadow work of stepping into our authentic power of who we are. And anyone can do this. Just because you're a chosen one, we're just leading the way of every single other person out there to do this work for themselves as well. So it is our turn, but we're turning up as those guides to be able to help others. So let me carry on with this message. So there's a struggle, and once you know that self-worth, there's this switch that happens. Oh my God, I now know who I am. I know that I came from a higher frequency. I know that I hold this wisdom. I know that I've got something to share. I know that I've got to do something. I've got to create something. I've got to bring something in. I've got to unite people, whatever it is that you have in your mission and your soul feel of who you are. Oh my God, I know all of that now. And I'm the one that has to step forward, because I'm the one that knows, right? And if I hold it, that's kind of not very nice either, because you're holding specific, special information to help the rest of them grow. So you have to step into your own power of who you are. Hang on, let me read this anyway. So as they take their rightful place on earth as the way showers, there is no ego of how this looks to others or to themselves, only truth within, and living moment to moment with the absolute faith in self. So obviously, like in the past, you have someone that's like, I'm better than you because I have more stashed over there in my bank account. I'm better than you because I look beautiful. I'm better than you because I just said so, and I'm going to be better than you because it makes me feel good. But there's no real inner knowing of who they are. Like if you ask them straight up, who are you? They'll be going, yeah, I'm human. I was born in this life, and they won't know any depth of the soul. They won't know their soul's lineages or anything. There's a difference. Authenticity gives you not only your power, but also your strength and protection, as you no longer take on other people's advice that you should act less to fit into a world of lack. You don't have any urge to fit in anymore. You are here to stand out and shower more love upon a world of humans that forgot they too are most powerful. So, as the way showers, we are the ones that are igniting the power of others, and so that they understand that there's more to them than meets the eye as well, and that their soul that enters through the pineal gland, it's the seed of the soul. It enters in when they're born, and it leaves when they die. When that soul understand, when you can tap into that, you can understand there's a lineage of that as well, and there's a lot of gifts that they learn on the way, whether they came to earth life after life after life after life, and they were like persecuted or tormented. They also, in those moments, in those lives, found out about how to work with herbs, how to work with Mother Earth, how to navigate the logical mind and the intuitive mind. They found these wise kind of this wisdom out of understanding how to create on this physical plane of existence. And also holding, well, in the background, holding codes of Atlantis, Lemuria, all of that sort of stuff, and beyond. There's even more beyond, they're telling me, than Atlantis, Lemuria. There is lifetimes upon lifetimes that have been hidden from humanity's consciousness because they wanted to keep us in a limited pool. If they keep us in a small pool, as a fish in a small pool, they could contain that water. They could contain our emotions. They could contain our feelings. And if they allowed that to spread out into the vortex of understanding about these lives, pre-lives that our soul had gone on, they couldn't contain it anymore, and this is what's waking up within the chosen ones at the moment. So who are the chosen ones? I'll just quickly go over that. So they are humanity went on this amazing story where they ended up losing their capability to be able to tune into their soul's lineage and so forth, and tune into Mother Earth as an energetic field. And when they lost that, they ended up going through just learning about the physical world, so everything outside of them. And so they didn't find themselves as their own core self-sufficientness anymore. So they weren't guiding themselves. So they asked somebody else to lead. We need someone else to lead us because we don't know who we are anymore. All of a sudden, there's these other beings. We'll call them Anunnaki, the reptilians. There was others as well. Some of them were even Lyrians that come in, although the Lyrians were the creator beings as well. They all came in, and then they started to train, mostly the Anunnaki, because they were so most powerful, very big, tall giants. They came in and taught humanity how to navigate the world without being connected. And so we ended up learning everything outside ourselves, how to farm, how to do agriculture, how to brought in the languages. So they went around, the spaceships went around to different countries. And that's why you'll find in the like the writings on the caves and stuff like that, there's similarities of these beings that called themselves something different in each country, but they wanted to separate the world. They wanted to separate everything because that's what the logical mind does. It compartmentalizes everything. They represented our logical mind, and they taught us all about that, but it was only meant to be for a certain amount of time. And it got to the time where humanity had gone through, the wars in the 1900s, and there was a lot of, we've had enough of this lesson. We've gone through these wars over and over and over. Why are the wars happening? Because there was imbalance within the humanity psyche, within their understanding of the value of the feminine side and their inner world. And so outside of them became warlike. And then humans, like, we know something's wrong, we can feel something's wrong, but we don't know what's wrong, and they started to scream out for help. Now, in the etheric world, there was those that were overseeing all of this. We were just kind of tentatively watching from different dimensions. There was still links of times where we'd come and visit. Pleiadians would come and visit with their spaceships, and The Anunnaki were doing a long stretch, and they were coming around this time as well, but they do a long orbit. And then the Acrturians were kind of more in the etheric worlds, but then there was a collective that was asked to come together on those planets, in those other dimensions. There's also other dimensions on Earth. There's higher frequencies that were involved as well. Those groups were ancient tribes and stuff like that actually felt into the higher frequencies and understood a lot more, and they ended up like an atom spinning out of consciousness of that limited space. They spun out within their own psyche into this higher fifth dimensional frequency on Earth. So they too are involved as well. There's those that went on the inner world as well. There's just so much more to this. But the cry for help came from humanity's consciousness that was stuck. They were going round and round in a loop. It was like going in a maze and just getting stuck and never really coming out, thinking that they found the right door, and they never did. And then they ended up screaming for help. So all of these other entities that are on different planets and everything heard that cry. The prime creators, the prime creator of humanity, the ones that created, that dreamed us into existence. The Aboriginals knew about this, and the original people of Australia. The dreaming was, what are we going to create next? And so it was all dreamed into existence by these powerful beings, and those will be called, we will call them the prime creators. When they saw or felt that cry that was happening, the cry ended up resonating through the whole of the consciousness of humanity's humanity's energy. And then they ended up saying, we will come and help. Now they knew those chosen ones, those ones that said, okay, we'll put up our hand, kind of, so to speak. It was just an energy alignment, and the energy alignment meant that those souls that were chosen also had something to learn when they came into being born as a human. So they didn't just come here and it was going to be this guide. They were actually evolving their souls as well. There was a purpose for them. There was an alignment for that to happen. So we were learning as well as we decided to come in and have a human experience. It was all part of that soul going, I want to evolve fast. So this is a great way to evolve fast. Let's go into the thick of absolutely losing ourselves. And what a great time would that be to actually find yourself completely lost, and also within one lifetime get yourself out and understand that there's way more to you than meets the eye. Hey, Alice. Okay, don't burn your whisker. She burned her whisker when she was little. She should know that. Anyway, so let me get back in this time. That was huge. Actually, sometimes I just need a break, and maybe she's helping me just have a little small break for a bit. Where was I? So we ended up screaming out for help, and many thank you, Alice. Many others that were out there in the etheric world decided it was an energetic alignment. She's scratching herself, so everything's shaking on the table. There was an energetic alignment for us to be pulled in. We couldn't be just the observers this time. We couldn't just go, we will be the guides and show them a few signs and all that sort of thing and hope that they get that sign. No, we decided we were going to be born as humans in this world. And the only reason why that could happen is because those that held the codes over and over were waiting for a specific time and alignment, so that the next baby born through their lineage, through their blood lineage that still held codes, would be those that were from other higher dimensional spaces, and they will be bringing in even more. So in other words, my mum, who was definitely a powerful, what we would call witch, or somebody who had gone through a lot of lifetimes of being persecuted, but she held this code of a seer, to be a seer. So she handed that down to me. So I ended up being able to see things. Now, I chose that family so that I could have this connection, strong connection to my soul, even though I'd lost myself in that unbalanced field of what humanity's consciousness was lost in. But now it's learning to bring that all back so that I become that seer and be able to channel through messages for everybody else, to be a leader force, and same with many, many, many others. It's not just me. I'm not trying to say this from an ego point of view and just using myself as an example, but this is the awakening. It's like this core quickening or awakening, a transition for those that were chosen to go, okay, that's it. I'm just going to be me now. I'm not going to try to fit in anymore. I'm going to be authentically who I am. If I'm from Acrturians and I have I feel a lot, I'm going to take that on board. I'm not going to be diagnosed with ADHD or anything like that anymore. I'm taking it back as my power, and I'm using it to my advantage. There's a take back of power, and no longer seeking outside oneself for advice. We're coming back into, I know that there's some reason why I have this, what they might perceive as something that's wrong, as a gift, as power that I can use to actually navigate myself through this and bring through the thread of leadership, of guidance, of understanding, to be able to teach others that they too are not, there's nothing wrong with anybody in this world. Okay, so after that, I also got this message, and it's kind of just a little bit of a, I don't know, you could call it a poem. It's called Let Go. Excuse me. Let go. So let go of how it looks to others and shine. Let go of feeling unworthy and shine. Let go of what others said to you in the past and shine. Let go of what could happen in the future and shine. Let go of unwanted thoughts that keep you stuck and shine. Let go of what your parents may think of you and shine. Let go of being different from everyone else and shine. You are the light the world has been waiting for. So shine. So this is what we're doing. We are, and shining, and shining is a word that kind of invokes the fact that our cells are infused with more love because we love who we are, and all of our crazy as differences that we have compared to everyone else out of there. And when we start to love every single bit of ourselves, all of our cells start to awaken. So that love that's infused will awaken the messages within ourselves and our understanding of a lot more. So we're also kickstarting the codes that our predecessors held. All of those that were witches and wizards or whatever that held all those codes and were persecuted in that time of being lost or being imbalanced. That will be kick-started as well. So we will then have a gravitational pull towards learning about medicines, learning about the etheric world, learning how to be telekinetic, learning how to be, anything that code held. And so our bodies start to flip into understanding more. Also, they're showing me that pineal gland connected to this, I think it's called a vagus nerve system. I don't even know how I knew that, but in any case, a nervous system that is completely connected to everything, which carries the electricity through our bodies, that is going to ignite certain organs within us that actually hold magical power. There's so much more that's going to be awoken here as we go along. And we will also, but the most important thing they're saying, any magical power can be used at any given moment when you feel stuck. But the most important thing is that you know how to central yourself. You know how to come back into balance, how to be still within oneself, how to go that story, I'm not involving myself in that story, even though it's all around me. I am becoming my central point of my creation. And so that means you come back into stillness. From stillness means that nothing exists and everything exists all at the same time. So you can navigate your world from that, knowing that every step that you take, you are now using every part of you. You're using that soul lineage. You're using that body lineage, that DNA lineage as well. I can't believe how much is coming through. As soon as I sit in the seat sometimes, it's like my go-to. So amazing. Okay, here we go. So I also wrote down a few other messages as well. Hey, everyone. Haven't even noticed the chat bar. So sorry, guys. Hey, Celtic. Hey, Vanda. Hey, Sky. I said hello to Nick. They were right on board right at the beginning. Debbie, Sasha. Good to see you guys. Yannicka, really good to see my family in that chat bar, waking up and understanding a lot more about who they are. I love it, love it, love it, love it. We're in this together, right? Everyone's in this together. I haven't even said anything about these friggin' amazing masterclasses that I am making. So I have now just about finished the 4th video, but not only that, I've also, I don't know, they've downloaded within me, or that my creative, imaginative side is just sparked. And I ended up creating I think I'm going to have 4 different videos of different games that you can use to practice being telepathic and getting in the zone. So I'm really excited about these games, because there's a couple there that you can use over and over and over again, and there's some that you probably only use once, but it's just fun. So they're all part of the master classes that's going to come on board. I'm going to launch them probably in June. Or it will be in June. I'm pretty sure it will be. There will be a cost with that, because there's a heck of a lot of work that I've put in. I mean, months of work. And also we will have not one-on-ones, but we'll have classrooms. We'll open up weekly classrooms for you to talk to me about what's happening, where you're going, and what's going on with the classes that the video classes that I'll be launching. So those 4 classes are all to do with balancing the mind and bringing in the right hemisphere, coming into balance, learning all about why everything happened, the pineal gland. Lots of people in my chat bar and people who have followed me for years might know some of these stories and some of those things that are happening. But that's why I'm really excited about the games, because even though you might have heard it, it's kind of in concession, and it will help you just have that concession understanding of, boom, now we're into learning about the channeling, because I've got that down, I got that down, and now I understand now where I'm going with my own taking my power back and my channeling and so forth. So it's everything in those videos is what my guides taught me. So I've just been following them throughout my life, not even realize it was accumulating to this beautiful story to be able to put into master classes, which is obviously why I'm here, to be able to bring that forward for you guys, and for become that guide for the next, so that we can develop a universal language of telepathy again, and understanding. With that comes empathy for all. So in any case, can't wait for those to be put up there. So I had to put that little plug in, and you would have seen the video at the beginning. I'm going to do a couple of more videos about that as well, so that you can get a little bit more lowdown and tell you exactly what's going on. Probably have to go on my website and change up a few things. Any case, love you guys. There's already people that have said they're really interested. So I'm really excited about that too. As well as it steps me out, so I can support myself, and I need to be able to support myself so that I can actually, keep doing this sort of work. And that's where the money's going at the moment, because I'm stepping out of relationship, and I need to go find home, and I need to do all this stuff. It's just going to help me heaps. So, and I just trust. I have so much faith in where this is going. I think it's going to become a big thing. Literal 5th dimensional school, for real. So in any case, let's carry on. Here's another message. Whew. So we're coming up to a point where fantasy and reality merge to become a whole new creation, not through manipulation, but through expansion. I'm reading this bit off my phone. I've got all these messages throughout the week, so I might as well read them out. Where humanity joins into the cosmic sorry, where humanity joins into the cosmic, I can't say the word, dance of interdimensions, with the understanding that love is all there is, and anything that isn't love is only a shadow of reality created to limit one's world through fear and resistance. I love how that was written. It was just like this perfect role. Where fantasy and reality merge to become a whole new creation, not through manipulation, but through expansion, where humanity joins into the cosmic dance of interdimensions with the understanding that love is all there is, and anything that isn't love is only a shadow of reality created to limit one's world through fear and resistance. So beautiful. Light is the love or source energy connected to oneness, where all wisdom of realities reside. Literally, the Akashic records, or the Akashic records, are held within Earth's consciousness, because you could say there's Akashic records with every planet and the life form that's on that planet, because everything that dies, the body goes back to Earth, and that when the body goes back to Earth, the DNA gets infused with messages for Earth to learn from. That is why the more you declutter, if you declutter your self-sabotaging programs, the more you clear the way to experience expansion, because you are connected into that, into loving yourself more, and more light is infused. Where there is light, there is wisdom. Okay, and then on May the 4th, I got a special message. Everything is moving towards a big change, not because those who govern us are shifting. They're going to have to shift anyway, but not because of them. Like, they're constantly trying to shift humanity's program by showing up with, look over here, we're going to start this war, we're going to do this, this is happening, it's all you guys' fault, blah blah blah. Not because of them, because they've been using the energies to do that. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. It was really interesting, because this was written on May the 4th, and then on May the 5th, I come across pretty much what an update of this actual message. So everything is moving towards a big change, not because those who govern us are shifting, but because those who are awakening are. And that will awaken those governing humanity away from feeling they have to control everything in order to feel important. They will fall and have to face their own shadows if they are to return to the great link of source energy and leave the reality of lack and overprotection. So big, huge moves there. But this was really interesting. So I came across this little snippet this lady was putting up about the dates, and she figured out that, and she said, is this the coincidence or not? And I just ended up getting a message afterwards, so I'll talk about that. The three World War dates. So WW1 was on the 7th of the 28th, 1914, and it equals, if you add up all those numbers, 68. WW2 was on the 9th of the 1st, 1939, and it equaled 68. Invasion of Ukraine was on the 2nd of the 24th, 2022, and that equaled 68. So she left it at that. And then I realized 6 plus 8 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. And that's what we do in numerology when we break the numbers down. So it's the 5 in numerology means change is coming. So they use the energetic 5-day because they want to implement a big change in humanity's consciousness, one that will suit their agenda. The Cabal know we are energy people and have used this forgotten knowledge against ourselves. That's why when we wake up, many learn about occultism, which means mystical knowledge or magical powers. That's what occult means when you look it up. Really, it's just about learning how our energy, our inner energy aligns with our outside reality. This is why they banned this wisdom eons ago and burned the witches for using such magical understandings. So there is, like, when we align with the energy of the outside world, where the energy that's held by the outside world. Okay, so energy is always energy. It's just love moving, right? So here's humanity has a consciousness, an understanding of what reality is. And so all of a sudden numbers are implemented, dates are implemented, right? This is why you could say, well, the original dates could be completely different. The Mayan calendar was completely different. What, you know, it's a different number and all that sort of stuff. Why is this date so important when it's, you know, when it's the Georgian calendar? Hello, the Cabal changed the dates to the Georgian calendar, and then they used that. What it is an infused program within humanity's consciousness where everybody is focused on that energy alignment of that date. And whether you know it or not, or whether you can add up or not, that date has a specific energy alignment only because humanity's consciousness is feeling into numbers all the time. And so they collectively draw those numbers in, and it becomes the focus point of, okay, because it's always in a flow or a wave, like humanity's conscious. The flow of wave can change just due to programming, but the flow of wave could be number 1 day, number 2 day, number 3 day, number 4 day, and it's like a flow of, okay, we're stepping into something new. And it used to be in the old days before dates were even implemented, it would have been full moon and half moon and all that sort of stuff, or new moon, you know, new beginnings and that sort of thing. So it just depends on what the majority of humanity's consciousness is tapping into as to what is the overall wave that is being in alignment with us. So when we come to 5, it's like a switch up because we're getting ready to step into 6, and 6 is all about creation. And like there was this guy that was really brainy guy. Like he just, it was incredible. He could do pi decimal for 4 hours. You know how the pi decimal is infinite and it changes its number. He just had all these people in this room and he just spat out the pi decimal for 4 hours and every single number was right. The reason he said, well, he can do that is because he was attuned to the feeling of vibrational numbers. And whenever he would come across, say, for instance, a 9, he would feel it. So the feeling would just be, that's why he would say it was a 9. He said when he moved into cities with tall towers and that sort of thing, he always felt like 9s were all around, like tall structures. And the 5 was, I can't remember what 5 was, but know what 6 was. 6 was the void. And he said it was the hardest one for him to tap into because it literally felt like nothing and then everything. And so it was the void of creation. And so what they do is they use humanity's programmed consciousness to guide their next moves. And so when there's a date that comes together at a certain date, that could be like that 68 equals 1 to 4 to 5. And it's like a story that you can evolve there from creation into abundance, into new beginnings, into grounding something, into change. And so when that change happens, that's when they flip the program and they create something that's going to change humanity into what they want. And so, yeah, it's really interesting what they're actually telling me at the moment. Oh my God, so much information. I kind of got the gist from that, but then they're like pouring this other information through about humanity's consciousness. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Wow, I'm getting blown here by this information that's coming through. So yeah, we have this whole big shift that's happening now. When we take our power back, and those that are guiding through love and have this expansion within themselves of more power of who they are and where they're going and what they can actually achieve and what they can do and what kind of gifts they can awaken, then they will help align humanity not to an outside program, but to the authentic earth program, the earth program of what was already the original program that we've all been born into, because we're born on earth, and earth has a certain program that she runs, and that is to do with the moon and the sun and the seasons and all that sort of stuff. And there's always a mirror effect of one side of the earth to the other. So we've got the south and the north pole as mirroring each other, where there's winter in one, there's summer in the other, because earth is whole, and she's just like always going to have something that is in the summer and something that's in the winter. Just like the two hemispheres of the brain, we become whole and we acknowledge all, instead of humanity's consciousness is taking the program from the north and then try to implement into the south, and we're not even following even within that program because it's so warped. Halloween over here in Australia is the opposite side of the seasons, and it doesn't make sense because Halloween came from going into the autumn and the winter, and that sort of thing, and here we are going into spring and summer. So it's very confused and mixed up for a reason, because it keeps us in a limited state where we are unable to tap into certain powers that are connected to Earth's original program pattern or nature itself. And even those that are on the north, they're still implemented with programs of like Christmas is a celebration all day of this, that, and we're like, there's no real substance towards the actual Earth's environment of it, where in the old days they would do all of that with. That's why the so-called witches were actually persecuted, because they carried that natural program to be able to connect with earth and all of the magic that would happen with that. They carried that, they used that vibration. Now when we go back to that and the majority of humanity starts to follow that, then we're not only in tune with each other, we're in tune with every animal, we're in tune with every plant, we're in tune with earth herself. We're also then, because we become whole and part of the original self, the original wholeness of Mother Earth and all that reside on her, we're then open then through that connection to other planets. So there's these vortexes that can happen where there's literal portholes where there was lakes, and they're showing me what they showed me in the Pleiades portal video that I created from their energy, where they showed me this lake next to a cliff, rock cliff, and there was an observational platform where you could they over in Pleiades had a lake as well, and it was a connection to Mother Earth, and they could literally talk to Mother Earth as a being through this lake. It was really interesting what they showed me. It's like a telephone line, like using each planet had a frequency alignment to the star, to the planet, or to the consciousness that have visited the planet. You had to have an alignment of the portal existing for the beings to be able to reside on here anyway. And Mother Earth, they're telling me, has many of them, because she was very expansive at one stage and could handle a literal library of different animals coming from many different planets. And it was like the safe haven, and humanity was the guides to those, helping those animals become part of Earth, so that there was this whole infusion of different life forms and human. Something to do with the Pleiadians were helping humanity bring through these animals as well. There's all this different stuff that they're bringing through at the moment, but there's definitely, let's go back to the portals. There's definitely either, like they said it's just landmass. It could be caves, but usually with Pleiades it was the water. It had to be by water for some reason. I think because the planetary alignment that they were aligning with in Pleiades, where would I say majority of the Pleiadians came from that helped humanity, there was a lot of them, was a watery planet. Then you have another place that would have be specifically for Acrturians. Now, there might be some of those that are born from those planets straight here that are going to be gravitate towards, without even knowing it, just by, oh, we're going to go camping or we're going to go on a trip to blah, blah. And then they end up coming across that vortex. If that does happen, you'll find dreams. Sorry. You'll find when I channel, I burp a lot. You have to excuse that. You'll find you could end up having visions. You could end up having dreams. You could end up having channel messages, but they won't align you with that until you have the capacity to be able to channel through information anyway. They want you to be clear, because otherwise you'll miss it. You'll just walk past it, or you'll just go, oh, that was a funny dream, or that was, a funny thought in my head, and you just miss it. But when you're open to this actually happening with you, that you can connect to your planet, and it could be that you are there specifically to connect, which when you connect in that area, it opens the portal even more. It's like a clearing that happens, like within the pineal gland, when we clear the pineal gland and we become more gifted. So yeah, there could be a kind of a gravitational pull of certain humans that have come straight from those places that will want to go there and experience something, which will open up more. So yeah, that's happening as well around the world too. Oh my God. Hi, Elisa. Good to see you. Thanks, Celtic, for sharing my website as well. Yeah. Okay. There's just so much that's coming through at the moment. That's so excited, because it really is, to them, the pivotal point of what they were waiting for, to go, there's no turning back. And they knew it was going to happen. They knew it was coming. We only there is, they have that specific number, 144,000. But they said it only takes one to move a mountain. So even if one awakens, many more will just, it's like a pulling of a thread. If you've ever seen one of those sacks where they have a thread and you pull it and then it goes ding, 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 and you pull the whole lot, that's literally what happens. The thread just pulls, and it awakens many anyway. So we're kind of doing this as an interwoven thing together, where those that are going, that are purging and doing the shadow work and moving up, we're moving up all together. It's like one will do do it for the first time, and then the rest will start to pop, and then they'll have a rest, and then somebody else over here that is a chosen one will do the same thing, and then that will with another issue that they had, and anyone else and the chosen ones that had that issue will start to pop. So there's this awakening, and we're all around the world. You will feel that you have been alone. You won't be able to mingle with those others so much anymore, but that's going to change, because now your job will be shifting from staying in hermit stage to protect your energy while you learn to step into this new powerful self, that authentic self that you already were. And then it flips into, now with my business evolving, or now with my whatever it is that's evolving, I have to get out there. And even if it's just walking the streets, and then your energy alignment will start to shift others as well, because that at the core reference point, all out there are creators of their own reality, and all out there are source energies, like souls, or the divine spark of love, whatever you want to call it, God's creating. And so at that point, when you know that within yourself, you can awaken everyone else, and there's no one any better than anyone else. We're just in different amnesia states, different sleeping states of awareness of who we are. Just like certain animal programs keep them in an amnesia state for that program to be developed, but there are those within that will awaken to shifting something, so that for the survival of that species, we're coming from an energetic evolution here rather than a body evolution. So you might have like a quoll that's been attacked by the cane toads, and then the quoll ends up I can't remember the story, but I don't know, they get eaten by they just about die off, and then one quoll just goes, that's it, I've decided we're not going to die off. And once that happens, something will flip in their DNA, and then that DNA will through the light of love of source energy, because source energy wants to have the experience of being a quoll, it will create something within the body that will become poisonous to the cane toad, or to the frog, or whatever. So if you get what I mean, there's this energetic alignment. Once you decide, no, that's it, I am going to stay here on earth, and I am going to be the light. I'm going to be the light worker. I'm going to be the one that shows the way shower. I'm going to be the one that stands in my power. Even though everyone else out there will be in disalignment to me, I'm going to stand in my truth and know 100% that I'm going to meet other positive people that are going on journeys as well, and they are either going to help me in a physical way, or help me in an emotional way or something, but we will start aligning, and then we will like maybe even group together to help others as well. Like, it doesn't have to be a lonely trip anymore. They're saying, yes, we understand that you're the one that first goes into the bushes, the brambles, and you're the one that cuts away everything because you're not afraid to use the sword of truth. But even in so doing that, and then everyone else is behind you going, well, we'll wait to see if she clears a really good path before we actually start moving ourselves. Literally what happens. How strong is this soul, you know? That's why we've got to take the strength of ourselves back. When you know the strength of who you are, though, everyone starts to magnetize around that, because they will see the path is clear for them to develop themselves as well. Hey, oh my gosh, so much information, right? Okay. Drum roll, please. I will do a couple of free chat bar readings. I didn't know if I was going to do it because there's so much information coming through. Yes. Let's do a couple of chat bar readings just for fun. I like doing fun things as well. So if anyone wants me to read for them, just thinking, do I want that one or do I want my older one? I have so many tarot decks now. Let's do the older one. Okay, Kelly. Let's pull a card for Kelly. Don't forget, I'm an intuitive counselor and reader. You can book me down below. I can do tarots. I could do just straight up channeling. Connect to your soul. My team does. I also do missions. Missions are a bit more expensive because I actually go into meditation and I pull out a story of your soul's lineage. Okay, so Kelly. Thank you. A card for Kelly in this moment. A card for Kelly in this moment, please. I always feel when it's going to pop out. It's so cool. It's like I go, now it's going to pop out. And I don't try to make it pop out. It just pops out. Okay, Callie, so you have my literal past life card, 6 of Chalice. It's like going back into your childhood and reminiscing or something, but I always see this as well as a past life card where past lives can be ignited within you. And that could be, see how the people in the background, even though they are like a grandma or grandpa or parents or whatever, they're an etheric. It's also soul lineage. So there's a soul, there might be something that's that you are starting to open up to that's beyond your physical. So anything that was your to do with your body that is igniting, is you would see the traits in your parents or your grandparents or your aunties or your uncles or whatever. You'll see the traits in others, in your sisters and brothers or whatever. Oh yeah, I can see that they would have had that gift. I see that they understand, you know, this, their, whatever it is anyway. But the soul lineage could have taken a completely different journey to their soul lineage, especially if you are like come from a higher frequency straight up. So then that's totally other gifts that will be coming in, and to be open to those as well, that they might look different or feel different, or your brothers and sisters or your family won't understand them or won't understand you in that way, but for you to stand in your power with it anyway. So there might be a awakening of something within you that's coming up. Okay, Debbie. Wait. Okay, we have some pretty tough ones that have come up here. We have a heartbreak, and it kind of just fell out, and I was like, oh, do I take those? And then I looked at them, I'm like, well, they're both. So this is the heartbreak. This is the one where you could end up leaving something that you didn't really, isn't resonating with you for the next level up for who you are. And it could be also a cutting away of an addiction, or you could end up being with somebody that has an addiction and you're cutting them away, or you could be cutting away an addiction of your own. And going, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. That's it. I need to see where I go without that. Or maybe it's an alignment, feels almost like an alignment of maybe it's time to do this. See something that's not serving you at the moment. It doesn't have to be like crazy addictions, or it could be. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. We've all had freaking addictions, every single one of us. But well, most of us anyway. If you haven't, you probably haven't lived. Because it's just part of humanity's consciousness to be addicted to something. That's part of that programming, that old programming. So when we decide that's it's not serving us anymore, there could be this chopping away of that. And it's going to open up a lot more, or take you on a different path, or give you a different feeling than what you had before, if you do choose to do this. So it could just be confirmation for you to go ahead and do that. Cut that out. Okay. Nick free. Nick. Nick. I see, I just saw in my mind's eye then you climbing the top of a pyramid or a mountain. You're nearly at the top. Always those last few steps. If you've ever gone on a long distance run or something, it's like, now I have to put in even more effort, even though I'm exhausted. There's something like that coming up. But you actually got the 4 of Wands flying out for you, which is unions. It is something coming together for you. It is an alignment, 11-11. It is an alignment of something you want to create. And it's coming in for you. So even though you might feel a little bit exhausted at the moment, it's coming up. So just keep going. You're on the right path. Keep moving forward. Okay, Michelle. Michelle. Okay, Michelle, we have the Hierophant that's come up for you. And the Hierophant it's really interesting. This card has shifted for me. I used to feel that the Hierophant was like signing contracts, like marriage or contracts, or signing into a new business or something like that. And it could well truly be. But there's also a very spiritual side to this now. This card has shifted because in the old days, in the old program, right, that we were running with, this card will represent those contracts that you put out in place because it's outside of yourself, right? But that there's also grounding new contracts on earth, grounding new understandings of yourself on earth. Because the etheric world is now merging with the physical world as more love gets infused in through us loving our world, we start to merge the two together, where the etheric and the physical world is as one again. And so there's something I'm feeling with this. There's a grounding of maybe spiritual business. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it there. I can't remember who I just did. That's terrible, isn't it, when I do that? Here we go again. It's because the chat bar moves up and I can't see the ones before, and so then it just lose where I'm up to. So if I've missed somebody, sorry about that. Okay, Justin. Let's do whoever's standing out at the moment. Thank you, Bobby. There's something for everyone in the cards. I do feel I am at a point, the pyramid, lighting up humanity. Yeah, well, the reason was when I was shuffling, I literally saw this and I was seeing you nearly at the top of it. So it's a pyramid, right? Okay, here we go. Justin. We've got two. I'm going to take them. They're saying take them. It's funny because when two cards are stuck together and they fall out, I'm like, it's stuck together. And I'm like, no, take them. Oh, this is interesting, Justin. Well, you've got the Death card. So going into like letting go completely of something, like just going, that's it. No more games, no more stepping in. For some reason, I'm feeling stepping into power. Well, the reason why is because it came out directly with the Sun card. The Sun card is one of the most positive cards. It's like starting anew because it's like a little vulnerable baby that's got no clothes on the horse. The white horse represents moving up into another frequency, understanding yourself a lot better from a soul perspective. And so new beginnings are going to shine on you, and you start to realize you've always had it within you to make this work. You've always had it within you to make this work. I literally am getting goosebumps as I say that. You've always had it within you to make this work. You just didn't. In the past, you were holding on to a program that was telling you didn't, and now you're realizing you did. So you have this within you. It's going to work. The Sun can't come out. You can't get a better card. Following straight after death, like letting go of something completely. Okay, who have we got now? Just as I said, Diane, a card fell out. Okay, we'll take that. Let's go with the flow. It's a reverse Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is he is a very strong, stable, but very slow moving knight. Like he represents a year from now, and and the pentacle is abundance. So something coming in, but it was in reverse. So it's like you're switching it up. You know how you have postponements happening, and you're just sitting there in front of a window going, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. So I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to postpone that. I'm just going to sit here. I actually feel like you should sit in front of a window and just come back to self. And there's going to be a switch up of no longer waiting the long haul for things to come in. It's switching, no longer waiting the whole. Yeah. Anyways. So who else have we got here? Celtic, my helper, Celtic. Don't forget, I go live on Thursday, and we'll find another big question to ask the tarot. I like doing the big awkward questions, right? We'll see if we can find a good one for that. I can't believe what May presented last week. So if you didn't see last week's tarot on Thursday, it was huge what came in. Celtic. I am feeling into you as stepping up as well as a light worker, like stepping up as a light worker. Like they're literally showing me you purple, blue clothing on that is literally etheric. Interesting. Okay. Celtic. We have 3 cards that fell out together. We have decisions or juggling a few things at the moment. There's a message coming your way to tell you which way is the right way, because the crow is coming towards the juggler and it's standing out. So the crow's like, wah, wah, we have a message. We have a message for you. Listen to us. I know that we can't speak, so it's going to be telepathic. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So it might change things up, and you probably already knew which way you were going anyway, but it just might give you even more clarity. Then we have the Hangman, and the Hangman can be like a waiting game, but I'm feeling with this one a new perspective, because he's hanging upside down, and he's kind of just like jovially hanging upside down. He's like seeing all these people, and they're probably pointing their finger at him, right? But because he's seeing them upside down, he's probably seeing them as applauding him. This is reminding me of this because I was a singer-songwriter for years, and I also, when the karaoke came out, was like in charge of karaoke's and stuff with this fella that was the biggest karaoke bar in Christchurch, in the main town of South Island in New Zealand. And we had, people coming up. I loved it because I just love the fact that people get up on stage and want to sing. And there was people that just couldn't sing, but their eyes would light up. And there's this one guy that constantly went up to stage, and he started singing, and it was the worst, off key, didn't know what he was doing. But every time he got off stage, he just didn't feel into that they were like cheering him off stage, like they were like, "Yeah, you're finished." Excuse me, I've got my JAMA pants on today. I'm the reading. Any case, so he ended up, coming off and going, "Oh, wasn't I so good?" And I could never say no, because the sparkle in his eye, who would want to put that out, right? I'm like, you were awesome, That's just who I am. And one day he realized, because there were some pretty mean people in the audience, that he realized that he wasn't. But this card was actually showing me him, because you can see things from different perspective, and your whole life is different. like the way that you look at life is different compared to everyone else. And so there might be a switch that you start seeing life as way more just through love more or something. The Four of Wands came in reverse. So this is a union card and creation card, and I still feel it as a good card, even though it's in reverse. Some cards still hold their power of positivity, even if they're in reverse for me. But I feel that there's a change. There's a shift up for you. This story is really showing there's a new choice to be made, a new perspective on life, and a new change that's coming. And the way that you're seeing life is going to reflect differently on life. So something big there. Okay, who else have we got that I haven't? Lisa, if time and energy allows, with gratitude. Oh, sweet. Okay, Lisa, we have an Ace of Wands, but I switched it. When I turned it around, it was in reverse. The Ace of Wands is some new beginning coming for you. Maybe something that you thought was going to take off might just be in its infant stage, and you're not quite sure if it's going to. They still want. It's really interesting. They still want you to give it lots of love, even if you don't know if it's going to work or not. And if you do that, it will either shift that story out, but the love that you infused will carry on to something else that's coming in. And so either way, love works. Either way, love will work. But if you go into something new, if you go into something new and you're resisting it, then you don't set yourself up for the next thing. Something happening there. Look, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse as well. Something new that's coming in. But we also came out with the chalice, Three of Chalice, and these three girls are like wanting to support you. There's like the outside world wants to support you in your endeavors, and it might be that in the past you might have tried something and it never worked, and now you're trying something else and you're not sure. They like infuse love into it, as much love as you can possibly do, because whether it falls away or not, it's still setting you up for the energetic alignment for something better. So yeah, take that as you will. Cool, Lisa. It makes total sense. Okay, goody. I love it when it makes total sense. Okay, have I done everyone? Yannicka? No, I don't think I did Yannicka. I don't think I did Yannicka. If you have time, Yannicka. Okay, too many. No, I'm going to do it again. I like, sometimes when there's just too many, it's just too. This is supposed to be short readings, right? Yannicka. Okay, you have the Six of Chalice as well. We started with the Six of Chalice, didn't we? But we've come out with the King of Pentacles, so Six of Chalice. But also you have the King of Pentacles. There's a feeling here of something in your past igniting you to become physically like, how could I put this? I can feel the story. So something in your past, in the past lives, but also when you were a kid that you were really good at, you really wanted to do, or you were excited about, or and then when you move in or allow this to shine more, you're going to ground it, and so it becomes part of who you are in this physical reality, because the King of Pentacles, it's a physical thing. It's something that makes money, as a person that makes money in a physical way. And so he's surrounded by a beautiful home. He's got everything that he needs in a physical way, and he knows how to do that. He knows how to bring it in. So it's almost like a clue to your past. Your past has a clue, sorry, to you becoming abundant in the future. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Most welcome, Callie. Hit the like button. Thanks, Celtic. Hit the like button. Hoi. Who else have we got? Yes, please. You skipped over me, Virginia. 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 Virginia, please. Okay, one just flew out. I like it when they fly out. And another one flew out. Oh, actually 3. We have 3. So we have the 5 Pentacles, but it's in reverse. So you're finally stepping out of being the victim and realizing that you're the only one that can change that frequency of being a victim. You're the only one who can stand up, get up, and go into the church, and it's the church in the background here, so that's why I say, I'll go into the room that's got light and love and all of that. So I'm not religious, but you can stand up at any time. See the poor person out there, and walk through the doors, but you have to feel like you're worthy of it. As soon as you have that self-worth and you stand there with your head held high of who you are, you stop being the victim to what's happened in the past. So we have the Justice card that's come out with the 3 of Chalice in reverse. And the Justice card, 3 of Chalice is coming out a fair bit too. It's interesting. There's a gatherings. But justice means that all of a sudden those things that you felt were, someone had done you wrong and everything, like the scales were like that, you seem to be able to carry all the load. Nothing's working for you. It's going to come back into balance, and you're going to find a lot more smoother path as you go along. But you have to come into realizing that others aren't going to hurt you. And the only way that you can do that is to trust yourself and who you choose and allow to come in at any given moment. Now, you could have a best friend over there that's having a bit of a moment, and she's like got a little bit of envy happening. Then you need to be able to say no to that. So you have to have enough oomph, enough self-support within yourself to be able to say, no, don't come in yet. And then maybe the next day she's healed that. And then you're like, okay, now it feels different. So now come on, let's have some fun. So you have the reins of who you pull on and who you let in and who you don't. And you're no longer the victim to everybody else, because you're now taking your power back. Something about taking your power back. Okay, guys, love you heaps. Don't forget, on Thursday, I am going to be live with a big question in tarot and for fun. And I also have, I really want to do a video on this, because they have shown me what happens to a soul when they die, what happens to us when we die, and what choices we can make. So, and it's so full on, beautiful messages. I really want to make a video, but the problem is I'm doing all these master classes, and I have to have the master classes in my iMovie, and it's taken all my RAM, all my memory of my computer. So I might have to do that one live and just do it and come up, see if I can do it in a way that honors it. I love to, when I get messages like that, I love to do the videos because I feel it honors the message. Either that, or I have to wait until I finish the masterclass, which I don't want to, because it's it's given to me in this time for a reason. And also, I have promised someone that I'm going to be doing something, bringing in the Lyrans one day as well. So I haven't, I've been waiting for them to actually come to me, because they can be quite, oh, what is it? What's the word? Wary of those that they work through, because they have been tainted by the reptilians in the past, and that's how they literally fell. So we'll see if they want to come through one day as well. Love you guys heaps. Until next time. Bye.